Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. Hope everybody is having a wonderful day. We're going to be giving you all the details in the market, talking about what's happening, what's coming up. Tomorrow is a big day that at least it's finally going to be happening. I'll be talking about why I just said that. You also have one of the most successful IPOs that we've seen in recent history, and Palantir. We'll be talking about how is this stock doing right now in terms of its consolidation, getting ready for tomorrow, which is Liberation Day, April 2nd, and that is when the Trump administration is going to be announcing the reciprocal tariffs, and I think it's finally about time. The reason being is because we've heard this word tariff a countless number of times, and I'm kind of getting annoyed seeing it in the headlines, causing this uncertainty in the market. And to be honest, I don't think it's going to make a huge effect on the market. One of the main reasons behind that hypothesis is because the market's been kind of pricing in these headlines for a decent amount of time. And I mean, the market's down year to date now. We've seen the S&P 500 briefly enter a correction territory as there's a lot of fear with these tariffs. And now that they're actually going to be here, I think we're not going to see a big major change immediately. And the market is kind of sloughing it off right now as we speak. So let's get into the news here. If you're a new or returning viewer, hit the like button, subscribe for daily videos, and of course, not a financial advisor. I'm collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now, talking about Palantir, let's cover that first. Basically consolidates on the day. We don't see a ton of price action. And to be honest, regardless of kind of the stock across the board generally, don't see a ton of price action. And that is basically because I think the market is just waiting for these tariffs to actually be put into place for Liberation Day to actually happen. So that way we can get on to the next thing. So Palantir is consolidating here. Trading volume of about 78 million, just holding shy at about that $200 billion market cap. Where Palantir specifically sits right now in the overnight hours on Robinhood is at 84.49. So not a lot of movement. Like I said, I don't anticipate a ton of movement. Looking at options here, not a ton of activity, even as people are basically awaiting to see what's going to happen. And I don't really think much. I think a lot of it's being priced in as we speak. If this is bullish for the market and for Palantir, these could be decent reversal points because right now, the only articles that you're really seeing come out about Palantir are bearish ones. Of course, if there's any dull moment in Palantir, people talk about how expensive it is. We know what the valuation is behind Palantir. We know it's very high. So you have here Palantir being called too expensive by Schwab guests, talking about these different CEOs of investment firms, talking about here that Palantir trading at 50 times its revenue creates an issue, even though that Palantir is an incredible company. We know this. Palantir has been at a high valuation since it was at $17. So people that keep throwing out the valuation card, yes, the risk for downside potential is higher just due to this fundamental behind Palantir that it does trade at a high valuation. But nonetheless, when Palantir goes on these runs and these momentum runs, we've seen it take off and continue to accelerate at a rapid pace. And Palantir is continuing to prove to the doubters that it can grow at a rapid pace. We've seen expansion on both the governmental and the business side of things in terms of commercial sector, the sector. So still very bullish on Palantir, regardless of these articles that are coming out. Talking about the stock futures, what happened to the market today? We'll be talking about that before the other stocks and one of the big IPOs that we saw that was pretty astronomical. S&P is up about 0.38%. NASDAQ is even up nearly 1% today. We see some money moving into NVIDIA, into TSM, into AVGO, a decent amount. NVIDIA popping up about 1.6%. That really held that support line at about that $100 zone. We see a lot of support here, a good reversal. NVIDIA sitting at 110 right now. As we speak, stock futures, they're a little change ahead of the tariffs. Like I said, basically just waiting, bracing to see the expected rollout of the tariffs and more further details on that on Wednesday. The move here, the implementation, there's a lot of data, a lot of junk in here. Stocks under pressure a little bit. We've seen this, but like I've said, with recent market volatility right now, my personal opinion, my prediction is I think a lot of this is already being priced in that Wall Street is. And once these tariffs are actually announced, I could possibly anticipate the market to finally have a little bit of relief and some buying pressure without this overarching type of situation and announcement that it's basically been hit with, or pressure has been put on the market for the previous few weeks, even a month, regarding April 2nd. Traders right here, April Fool's Day. Happy April Fool's Day. Looking ahead, though, to the ADP employment report of March, which is scheduled for release tomorrow morning, too. Economists here are expecting that private companies added about 120,000 jobs last month, up from 77,000 jobs added in February. We also have the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They reported Tuesday that job openings dropped more than the expected in February, with opening positionings falling to 7.75 million. That's just below the estimate of about 7.6 million. So just slightly below the estimate, basically right there, dropping more than expected. Like I said, though, not a ton of critical details about what the market's happening, what's happening within the market. Big stock that IPOs and surges to over a $20 billion market cap is the Newsmax stock. It soars, pushing its market cap north of $20 billion after a shocking IPO success. Quickly, if we look over here on Webull, just looking at Newsmax, currently trading at $233. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this extended its massive 735% gain here on Monday when it IPO'd at just $10. This is following what Newsmax is a conservative cable news outlet, and with its IPO, it raised about $75 million on Friday, priced at $10. The outlet rapid ascent in its first 2 days pushed its market cap to $20 billion, like I mentioned, Tuesday afternoon, ending the session about $230 right now as we speak. Basically, this became a cable TV network in 2014 and faced an onslaught of critiques and legal battles for touting different types of conspiracy theories, and any type of conservative media over the previous administration has been, beat down. Of course, that's the opposite political party, so of course they're going to face some pressure, some controversy around them. They're facing different types of ongoing lawsuits right here related to these false claims regarding the previous elections. A lot of different politics. It looks like it's happening within this actual conservative news outlook right here, but nonetheless, big IPO. We'll see what happens with this price, considering bracing right here. Of course, like I said, for the tariffs, is that going to have any type of an impact? But now right here, Tuesday session, volume of about 10.9 million shares. Lots of buying pressure behind this. So we'll see what happens here. Other than that, it's really all but a half for you guys. Looking at some of the other stocks that we talked about, HIMS basically consolidating a little bit up on the trading day, down in the after hours. Tempest kind of holding out, doing the same thing. We got Big Bear AI kind of doing the same thing. AMD, different stocks we talked about, basically consolidating across the board. So what do you guys make of all that? Do you think we're going to see an impact on the tariffs tomorrow? And what's going on with Newsmax? Peace out. Take care. I'll catch you guys later.